Most people have their own perception of reality or the quote-unquote afterlife or spiritual world, but don't even understand the reality they live in at its most basic and fundamental levels. To unlock the secrets of the universe, you must first unlock and restore your scientific mind. So first, you look at the fundamental building blocks of our reality, which is atoms and light, and how your biological mechanisms interact with these building blocks to create a reality for you. So for example, your sight. Your sight is arguably the most important and valued sense out of the five senses. So much so that people live by the saying, I believe it when I see it. But some folks will also tell you, believe none of what you hear and half of what you see. So your vision is a product of more than a few things, but fundamentally, your vision is predicated upon light and how your biology processes this light. But humans are only capable of perceiving less than 1% of the entire light spectrum, 0.0035% to be exact. This 0.0035% is the rainbow that you were taught about. But what you weren't taught is that you were only experiencing 0.0035% of what exists. Light carries the information that your brain will eventually sort through. But light waves are constantly in motion, bouncing off of objects. But eventually, the waves are picked up by your cornea, which is then passed through the pupil to the lens, which then focuses the light to the retina located in the back of the eye. The cells then transfer the photons into electric signals that travel along the optic nerve to the visual cortex. The brain then processes the information to the best of its ability and then projects an image based off of the information given from the photons. So the brain is the projector, and the atoms that make up physical reality is the canvas or the green screen. Everything that you think is physical is merely just a sensation being projected from within the vessel. Nothing you experience is happening outside of you. Everything you experience, feel, or perceive is being generated by a process that is happening inside you. And sometimes you're seeing your brain's own interpretation of reality and not even what's actually there. This is very evident and has been tested through little optical illusions and things of that nature. I'm pretty sure we've all seen those since we was kids. And through these studies, it's already been proven that your brain plays somewhat of a guessing game with reality. As you can see, this is how a snake perceives reality. The snake's biology is attuned to a different part of the electromagnetic spectrum, so it can see in infrared. It can literally see energy, like imagine being able to see hot and cold. Cats are able to see blue to violet and yellow, but not red to orange. A dog's vision is limited to shades of gray, brown, blue to violet, and yellow. Alright, now we can get to the real gist of this topic. I just had to first show you that your interpretation and perception of reality is not as absolute as you've been led to believe, and is actually extremely finite. In order to understand the true nature of reality, you have to think outside of your construct of reality and what you perceive to be normal. You have to truly use your divine mind. Your cerebral capacity and capabilities are more advanced than anyone's ever given you credit for. Humans have no idea of their divine power and cosmic potential. So I'm gonna just give y'all a good example to put this thing into better perspective. Imagine you have a cup and you scoop a glass of water out of the ocean. Your life is happening inside the cup, and the ocean is the universe. Now you can begin contemplation on what may exist outside of the fraction of the 1% of reality that human beings are confined to, aka the cup.
You're a man looking at the world through a keyhole, and you've spent your whole life trying to widen that keyhole, to see more, to know more. And now, on hearing that it can be widened in ways you can't imagine, you reject the possibility.
No, I reject it because I do not believe in fairy tales about chakras or energy or the power of belief. There is no such thing as spirit. We are made of matter and nothing more. You're just another tiny, momentary speck within an indifferent universe.
You think too little of yourself.
Oh, you think you see through me, do you? Well, you don't. But I see through you.
In a split second, it becomes infinitely plausible to assume there is a so-called afterlife, spirit world, or astral plane. Now the contemplation of spirituality can begin to be dissected in a practical manner. More than 99% of what exists is hidden from us. It begins to slowly make sense why every culture around the world puts so much emphasis on this invisible world, a world inconceivable to man in his physical eyes, that only one can journey back to when he or she returns back to their natural state of spiritual being. Regardless if you believe or not, it's still one of the most major parts of human history and what has taken place and what is taking place currently on this planet. Different cultures and civilizations gave everything, including their own lives, for the preservation of ancient knowledge, spiritual teachings and practices. Ancient monuments and structures, scrolls and tablets, all different kinds of information. The ancestors sacrificed everything and died in hopes that their divine wisdom will live on for the sake of their descendants. In hopes that one day we will remember who we are, that we'll remember that we are more than just what we can see with our two eyes. The very least we can do is try our best to understand what they have left for us. I just think now is the time for us to take a different approach, a more scientific, intellectual approach. Ashe.